You gotta pay the troll toll to get in.
Welcome back to the Troll Podcast, where we trash the trolls so you don't have to reach in, pull it out, hop aboard the troller holster, because we're taking a ride to the spit pit. I'm one of your hosts, Beep Beep. I'm in your back seat. I'm huffing mosquito deed. It's me, Mike Lester. With us as always, he's shucking, he's bucking. He just manifested a motherfucking turducken. It's Ben Katzner. Ben, where are we, Ben?
I don't know that we can legally say turducken on here. I don't know if we can also say exactly where we are, but we are in a new studio. We're in a fun little studio. It's going to be a great energy. We got a lot of musical vibes. It's going to be a good time.
Yep.
And I'm excited to be here. And I'm excited for our guest. Who's our guest today, Michael?
Our guest, one of my very good friends in comedy. I've known her 15 years now, I think. She's phenomenal on Twitter. Please welcome to the great Brandi Brown. Brandi Brown, welcome in. Welcome into the Hellwell.
Hello.
Welcome
Thank
in.
you for being on the show, Brandi.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
We were just talking pre-cameras rolling. We're just going to get into it. If anyone said anything weird to us this week, and you said probably one of the most interesting things we've ever heard. Will you share with our audience the weird thing that has happened to you?
I was at the corner store looking at Red Bull flavors, and I was just gonna get a little drink. And the shopkeep, if you will, walks up to me. He's like, "Oh, have you tried this new flavor?" And it was like elderberry or something. I was like, "No, I haven't." He takes a can out, pops it, and like hands it to me. He's like, "Have a sip." And I was like, "Okay." And then I have a sip, and I was like, "Is he gonna make me buy this or something? Is this a trap?" And then I drank it. And I was like, "That's okay." And then he's like, "It's great," and then just takes it and drinks it and like goes off about his business. I was like, you don't even know where my mouth has been. You don't know me. Wow. Like COVID, I guess, over? Like, I don't know.
Craziest part about that, he didn't even work there. Yeah. It's just a guy.
That was actually a thought I had. I was like, does he work here? I was like, well.
We call that a quick trip first kiss there.
That's just that guy's kink. He's just like, I want to watch you drink it, and then I want to take one of their Red Bulls.
He wants, it's weird. It's like, it's a weird form of courtship, as I was saying.
Well, we will be wed in the deli section next week, so.
Everyone's just pouring Red Bulls on you as you're dancing. Like, I didn't know this was a Jewish wedding. Okay, I don't know.
You got 12 hot dog rollers surrounding you. There's taquitos at the after party.
That actually sounds like a fun one. That sounds like what my wedding should have been.
Yeah.
Our gift bags are just going to be like lottery tickets and Lucy's. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
This sounds good.
Yeah, actually,
This
I'm
is
like,
good.
that's not
This
bad.
sounds very good.
I don't know what show we take this on, but we have to take this on some Shark Tank adjacent.
Hey, sharks. Have you ever been to a wedding and wished it was more white trash?
Do you want a $400 wedding that'll disappoint all the old people that attend?
Unlimited nacho cheese
I
dip.
mean, I don't know. I feel like the lottery tickets, they'd be like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's crazy, Brandi. That's wild. Did you walk away from that and just be like, that could have been, there's almost no way that could have been weirder. Did you have that feeling?
I was just like, well, he's behind the counter. I was more concerned that it was like a random dude. I'm like, so he works there. And I was like, does he do this with all the women? Like, I was like, I want to feel special.
Yeah. You should go back and ask him.
Is he like a Red Bull hoe? Like, what is going on?
That's his fucking move.
Yeah.
He brings in his own Red Bull so it doesn't take away from like any of their stock stuff. He's like,
there's like a
"Why don't you
Facebook
try
group.
this?"
Are we dating the same bodega cashier?
Or he works for Red Bull.
Red Bull Ronnie. That's what they call him.
That's part of Red Bull's like guerrilla marketing.
I fell in love with Ronnie at the bodega. He gave me Red Bull. Has anyone else had this experience?
Yeah.
Everyone else has had this experience? I don't know. I guess we're all married to Ronnie now. So you guys like
But
the white trash?
elderberry's a new flavor. And like, girl, he did that with pear cinnamon. Like, I was like, oh man.
That is lit.
Cranberry was mine back.
I'm a little jealous. Like no one's ever. I've gotten free samples before, but everybody gets a free sample. No one's ever given me. Yeah, no one's ever given me like a ham roll and then just house the rest of them.
That's odd though. You take a bite of the ham roll and they just like fucking.
They go pretty good, right?
It. Yeah.
Let me show you how to do that.
Yeah.
Deep throat.
That's nasty.
That'd be hot as hell, dog. I would have fucked that guy. Okay. We're in it. We're in the spit pit now, baby. We're swimming. We're back.
Mr. Meisel, I would have fucked that guy.
Yeah, I just want you to know.
With Ben Katzner.
That's
the new segment. I would have fucked that guy.
Yeah, I would have fucked that guy.
What about you had a dating app one? Did you want to share that too?
Yeah, it was just like this 20-year-old was just like, they say women over 40 age like a fine wine, and you certainly are. And I was like, you're not even old enough to buy wine. Like, get the fuck out of here. I just think that you have to be at least 21 to say that to a woman.
Oh.
Well, okay, now I have questions. So are you exaggerating for comedy purposes, or is this person actually like under 21?
He literally was 20.
Well, then you got to change your parameters. On
Well,
the
at
dating
this
app.
point, I just like, I don't even want to interact with people. I'm just like, who thinks I'm hot? That's really the only reason I'm on the
Sure,
dating apps, because at this
sure.
point, I'm just like tired of it.
That's
Yeah.
very
And so
valid.
I just like let it go. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay. And it's never good.
You're in it for the dopamine.
I
hit.
really am. Yeah. I check it
That's fair.
occasionally because I'm just like, I don't feel
We
like.
should get on there.
I got to be honest. That's probably the healthiest way to use a dating app. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just be like, just tell me I'm pretty.
As
Yeah.
a drug, yeah.
We don't have to fuck. We don't have to. Ben will fuck that guy, so it doesn't matter. I'll do it.
It's just like, it like humbles me. I was like, oh, I am not as hot as I thought. And like, because at one point also, I saw this dude I went to school with, like high school, and like he is like hot as shit. He's rich and he has a puppy. And I was like, why are you even on this app? Just go outside. Just go outside. Like you could get any woman you wanted. Why are you here?
I remember
Personality issues.
back in the Tinder days, you ever get someone that like they match and then they message you like that was an accident?
That's actually how my friend met his like long-term girlfriend.
That was like 8 out of 10 times for me. They're like,
no.
sorry, I was speed swiping. I was
Like,
like,
yeah,
oh.
I really like your eyes. You're so pretty. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, dog. This is
Also,
I got fat thumbs.
One time
Sorry.
I was, right after I got out of like a 4.5-year relationship, I went to see Midsummer, which is a great movie if you're going through it. So then I was like, this validates my feelings. So then I was in the back of the theater because no one was there. And I was like, let me just get on Bumble. And there was a comic on Bumble and my nosy ass was like, well, let me just see what kind of insane shit he's writing. And I accidentally super swiped. And so I'm just panicking. I'm like, I gotta fucking get out of it. Because I'll tell you what was after, but I'm like,
Chris
no.
D'Elia.
No, it was a local comic.
we totally forgot. We do this a lot, but producer Neil is
What's
here.
up, Neil?
Neil
Hey,
the
you
deal.
can't see him because we only have 2 cameras.
Neil, hi Neil.
That's right.
Love
That's
you,
the hand
Neil.
he jerks off with.
Neil, the lone wolf with 8 jobs. We're
Yeah.
geotagging him soon.
One of them was
Gotta
a
keep
hand
track.
job.
Yeah. It's 10 if you count the
9
hand
jobs. Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks for being here, Neil. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Neil.
This is great. This is gonna be a good time.
This
Hey,
is
has anyone
fucking
said
awesome.
anything weird to you?
You know, I was looking through my DMs yesterday, and one guy before
come?
these shows a few weeks ago, just to see if anyone said anything weird to me.
Just to see if anybody loves me and thinks I'm pretty.
Just to see if anyone purposefully messaged me and didn't do it on accident.
Sure.
But a guy was like, it was right before these shows I was doing, and he was like, you do a new material? And I didn't respond to him. And he came to the show and then messaged me the day after the show, and he's like, you would close with old stuff.
Was it Neil Justin from the Star Tribune? Who's walked up? He's like, "You're doing new stuff." And I was like, "Thanks, man."
I can't close on new stuff.
Sure you can.
I did 30 new.
You can close on whatever you want if you don't give a fuck.
No, I care though. I want to go back to the Jade Fountain Cocktail Lounge.
That is the forever pressure of being a comedian. I feel like where you're just like, oh God, is there one person in the audience who's seen me before?
It
Then
was
I
a
guess I have to do
great
an hour and a
show,
half new
too.
material.
It'd be one thing if I did old stuff and it like didn't go well, but it was a great show. So it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck do you want?
You
dude?
would close on old stuff is crazy. If you're this person who sent this, you need to subscribe.
It's
to
also
the
crazy
podcast.
that he like went to the show. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, at that point, I'm like, I'm kind of mad, but I'm not. I was like, well, thanks for your support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few fans that they just bully me, you know, and I let it happen.
Yeah.
Is it
you're
that thing
into
where they
it.
think
You're
they're
sick
like
fucker.
overly
Yeah.
familiar with you? Because there's always that online where like we aren't friends, but you're talking to me
Yeah.
like one of my friends would rib me, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
I think just universally people think I can take it. which I can, but still, fucking stop it, dude. Stop it. Don't.
You should just start
me.
crying one day and just to freak them out.
One day.
In front of them, Mike. Not in the car on the way home.
Yeah,
my
just break
ritual.
down in front of him, dude.
My just
Yeah, I like that. I like
Is this
that.
new enough for you?
You're like, I've been having anxiety and panic attacks, and you're like, I don't know where it's coming from. And then your fans DM you, and they're like, hey, dumb fuck, are you doing new stuff or not? Otherwise, you're never gonna survive in this business.
Oh,
you're like,
God.
I don't know where this panic is coming from.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We literally
Don't
both-
do that.
yeah.
Don't be those people. Just go. Here's the thing. You don't give a shit. You don't care about the jokes. You're just coming to see the fucking
Yeah.
Spitmaster General over here
Yeah.
anyway. You want to see the gruel dripping down his chin. All right. You want to ride him all the way deep down into the spit pit. So
Yeah.
come for that.
Yeah, for
We're getting
God's
very into the
sakes.
weeds with the jargon
Well,
of our
no,
podcast.
but for
right now,
God's sakes, half my shit's improvised. Like, come
Yeah.
on, fucking.
you want
I
to
gotta-
see him shake the jowls a little
yeah,
bit
shake
and go,
the jowls, talk about Costco, and we're
Yeah.
out of there, dog.
yeah, so leave him alone. That's my buddy. All right.
Please,
But come to the
But
show.
like,
subscribe to
comment,
the
and
pod.
subscribe to our
We need
podcast.
you. Be a fan of the pod.
leave us alone, but leave a comment.
I mean, we'll talk about this at the end about our.
Hey, did anyone say anything weird to you this
yeah,
week? Ben?
yeah. So this was these are amazing. This is just classic normal being black in Minnesota thing.
Oh.
Didn't have to go to Wisconsin for this weird one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't
so,
a family gathering either.
No. My family hates me. It was we were doing a show and there was a third party at the show selling a little bit of booze or whatever. And this person, one of the comedians and I had an experience that I'd forgotten about. We were in Iowa and we got pulled over, and he's a white dude, and he was like, when we got pulled over, seeing how nervous you were about about the police presence, whatever, really illuminated me on how, it's different for a white guy versus a black guy getting pulled over by the cops. I'm like, that was what took you over the edge.
That happened to me.
This wasn't even the weird part, but I was like, it took that being in the
that happened
car.
to me. Like I was in a white comic and we got pulled over. Just like we're speeding like between
Yeah.
Elk River and like on 169. He was like, "You seem so nervous," and I was like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah, nigga. Yeah.
This was in
What's
before
the big
times. This
deal,
was like
Brandi?
2015 or something. But he's like, I've never seen you that nervous. I was like, yeah. One, I can't afford a speeding ticket, and
Yeah.
two, I'm black.
Exactly. It's those two things.
Yeah.
It's those two things. That's what's important. It's those two things.
I've only ever gotten a verbal warning.
Right.
Why are you freaking out?
He's like, Brandi, calm down. Have a drink. What are you doing? But so we were telling that story. And I had this is the thing that I completely forgot about that helped change his viewpoint on a lot of stuff, which is good. It's fine.
Sure.
I pushed my trauma down or whatever, and he learned from it. That's great.
Gotcha.
So in this moment, we're just rehashing this moment that happened, right? And then the third party guy who was selling booze kind of goes in and goes, yeah, something like that kind of happened to me. He's white. He's like, something like that happened to me. And then he looks directly at me and he goes, so this black guy sideswiped me? And I was like, well, this is already a different story. this is already a completely different story.
this
Whatever
is a
you're saying.
real crime.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he was like, and then he goes, and then the guy was like kind of arguing with me, and he's like, you want me to call the cops? And I was like, yeah, go ahead and call the cops. And I was like, okay, again, this is a very different story.
Wow.
And then the cops came, and that guy didn't have any insurance, and then the cops just detained him for an hour and a half. And I was like, why did you bring this up? What was the point of this story? I don't understand.
Did he get
Involved the
murdered?
car.
Like,
Yeah.
what did we?
Right. He was like, there's a black guy around. That
Yeah.
counts. Did you,
I got a black guy car story for you.
he stopped one question short of being like, did you know that guy? You know what I mean? He was very...
Part of me wonders in his head if he got like a little into the story and he was like, wait a minute. And
Yes.
he's like, I got to finish it out. I just
Yes.
got to power through
Yeah.
I
it.
think
Yeah.
that's what happened. Was he started talking and then kind of was like, oh, oopsie doodle. I made a
That's
boo-boo.
the toughest. That's a good piece of advice too. You can bail on stories if
Yeah.
you know it doesn't fit. No one's
Yeah.
going to judge you for bailing. Just abandon ship. No one gives. No, they
If
will have
you-
more respect for you if you do that.
If you see this dead-eyed stare, if you're telling me a story and I'm going like this,
Or if you hear a black person say, what?
You're smiling and laughing.
I can't do it because I'm thinking about how funny it'd be to
Smiling
be.
and
Or
laughing.
if you hear a black person say, damn, that's crazy. You're
Yes.
done. You're done.
Yes.
Cut
Yes.
it.
Yes. Damn, that's crazy is universal for yo. Shut the fuck
If
up.
I
man.
give you 3 yes in a row, like yeah, Yeah, it's your story's tanking, and
Wow.
I'm thinking about something else. Yeah.
Like that's also just
Yeah.
wrap it up.
I'm
wrap it
thinking
up.
about my golf
Yo.
swing, basically. If I'm like, yeah,
Damn, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
your
that,
new merch. Damn, that's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy, dog. Shit, it do be like that. It do be like that.
Damn, that's crazy.
People die every day. You know?
It is what it is. Right?
Oh,
Just leave.
Shit, couldn't be me though.
But
That's
also, you on the other side, if someone's telling a story that's not going anywhere, you could just make them end it. Be like, yeah, like you can say, "Damn, that's crazy." Just get them to wrap it up because
Yeah,
you don't
that
need
is
to
a
have.
point.
You're saving lives on both sides.
Have you ever turned away from someone to
Yes.
end a story?
that's my go-to. That's my first
You
move.
turn away.
Well, like I have such aggressive ADD that I can just wander away and then blame my mental health and be like, but
nice.
really it was just me being over the conversation. My favorite person who ends conversations is just Jackie. She's like, well, that's enough. And then we'll just leave. And I was like, I love that so much.
Jackie Cation.
Jackie Cation.
Great comedian.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
She's very blunt. She's like, I've had enough. Good day.
Love Jackie
That's
Cation.
hilarious.
That's a hero move right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
a tough
helps
hit.
everyone
You have
out.
to be supremely confident in yourself to be like, I've had enough of this. Goodbye.
Yeah.
You know? But that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I just feel like Jackie just doesn't have the time for that shit.
Yeah,
I think
that's
she's
fair.
just brutally honest with herself. She's
Yeah.
like, I am done. And it helps no one for me to continue
Yeah,
this
yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, she honors her own mental bandwidth.
Yeah,
She's
I like that.
I
And she'll-
got so much shit I'm
Yeah.
thinking about. I'm done.
She'll
with
also
this.
admit, she'll be like, I am really bad with faces. Say your name again. Like, good. Stop pretending you don't. If you don't know someone's name, I'll be like, what's your name? What are your pronouns? I don't remember any of
That's
that.
the
Just say it.
toughest.
Just say it.
I just go, Bud. If I forget, I'm like, yeah, Bud, and they're like, Mike, I've seen you, bro, and we've met up, and I'm like, yeah, Bud, sure.
I'm always just like, yo, I got a
Pal.
lot going on. Who are you again? Sorry. And then they'll say, I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, just so much. And they're like, I get it. I'm like, all right. So
I
I
would say
just level with
the
them.
counter to that is if you think there's any gray area where someone might not recognize it, even if you're like, there shouldn't be a gray area, especially in comedy, do yourself a favor and just be like, hey, I'm Todd. We met
Yep.
at Fargo or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're giving the person an out to be like, Todd, of course I know who you
Yeah.
are, even though they're lying and they don't remember you.
See, that's
Yeah.
when I blank stare them.
Yeah.
See, I should introduce myself again.
What do you
I
mean?
shouldn't just blank stare them.
What are you talking? Like when you meet another comedian?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should be like, hey. You just go up to them. You just go.
Also, like, I feel like,
I'm
have you
Mike.
guys seen the movie Can't Hardly Wait?
Say it again.
Have you seen the movie Can't Hardly Wait? Where like,
It's been a while, yeah.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
the whole point was like this nerd was like hanging out with all like the cool people because everyone was drunk, and then the next day he says hi to them, and they're all like, "We don't remember you." Like I've had so many Can't Hardly Wait moments with comics. I'd be like, "That was so cool! Like you gave me some really good advice," and they'll be like, "I was blackout drunk. What did
Yeah.
I say to you?" And I was like, "Wow, you were really actually giving good advice."
yeah.
You're saying you should stop cheating on your wife.
Yeah,
yeah. That's great. No, that is a very. It is like being drunk.
It is.
You're in this euphoric situation. You're like, I can't believe tonight's happening, and then you see
Yeah.
him again, and it's just like a completely different
Yeah.
vibe.
They just bring up you like defacing property. or something.
Yeah. You're like, oh shit, Todd from Fargo, you shat your pants, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, oh, you do remember me. Great.
I watched you piss on a bobcat at a construction site, Mike, and I'm like, this could be one of several people.
Ben Castor, didn't you steal a kid? And you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I got in a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't bring that up
It's
anymore.
a blur. Life's a blur, you know.
Okay, let's
Next seg.
keep it cooking a little bit here.
Yeah. So Brandi, one of our segments that we do to get to know our guests is what is your explore page like on Instagram or just anything like what pops up for you? What are your hobbies? What are your interests?
Be honest, because we did hack your phone.
No,
and we have
Instagram
looked.
for me is a lot of F1 stuff, a
Hell
lot
yeah.
of
Yeah.
track and field stuff, a lot of random cats, and then like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's come up
like
a lot.
fitness stuff because I just like seeing people lift heavy weights. Like I'm not interested in like I don't want their tips because most of them don't know what they're doing. But I'm like, damn, I love world's strongest man. I was
Yeah.
like, I
Of
love
course.
people lifting giant kegs and like throwing them in the
Yeah.
air.
You like feats of strength.
Yes, I love feats of strength, and
Yeah.
so it's like that. And then I think it's just a lot of sports stuff.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. That's
Yeah.
nice.
That's
a healthy
nice.
balance,
That's
I
a
feel.
good mix too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most people have like two things that they just get banged with. But yeah, that's a great mix. When did you get into like feats of strength?
I always liked World's Strongest Man. Like I like to watch it. I liked watching World's Strongest Man. If you had like ESPN, and I'd be like, oh my God, the keg toss. But my favorite event in World's Strongest Man is like the car walk where they just have a man wearing like a tiny car frame, like a barrel, and then they just walk. And I was like, all these dudes are on all the drugs you could possibly be on. And their bodies, like there was a New Yorker article, their bodies are just constantly like falling apart. And, like, they were talking, this one guy, like Brian Shaw, he's like a world champion or something. He ripped his like muscle clean off of his arm during a contest and was like still competing. And he was like, it was really painful. And the ortho had to use like a special, like orthos already, like orthopedic surgeons are already like really strong. They have to hammer at bones, but they had to like do some wild shit for that much muscle to like sew it back on. And, like, I was like, they're like, we use like titanium, like just whatever. I'm just fascinated by just people doing cool shit in sports.
Have you seen that video where the guy's like squatting a bunch of weight and like his butt cheeks literally fall?
I've seen so many injury videos.
This is my least favorite part of the podcast. Is where Mike gets hyper fixated on something and then says the craziest shit anyone's ever heard.
I haven't seen that one, but
and then you
I've
have
seen,
to pretend it's part of what the podcast is.
I've seen a lot of like sports injuries I don't particularly like. I don't want to see that stuff, but like I probably have seen it.
Do you
just,
think?
Like,
Do you think people
Butt
still
cheeks
do?
fell off.
I hate that. I genuinely hate that. That sucks.
cartoon?
Yeah. It's like, boy.
I think I saw it on Tosh.0 and then I took a deep dive on it.
Yeah, there you go.
On butt falling.
It's all lining up now.
Yeah.
It's all making sense
Oh,
here.
Tosh.0, yeah.
Do you think people still do these like strongman competitions if you got injured, they'd just shoot you like a horse? Because I feel like it wouldn't be as cool.
That's part of the closing ceremony. It's like, all right, now the injured portion.
You're champion. Pop! You know, just get them.
I mean, they basically do that in pro sport.
Sure.
It's like,
Feels like it.
I love when they talk about pro athletes. Like someone had a tweet about it, but it was basically just like, oh, you're 40, you've got so much life ahead. And it's like this 28-year-old piece of shit, they're gonna die. Like just bury them.
Yeah, for sure.
It is, especially as you get older. It's the most disheartening thing is all the sports you used to like. Just listening to them talk about like a truly 31-year-old, like they're dog shit, and they should just. Be
Well,
ran
the
over on
wildest
street.
one was there was like, it may have been like Sue Bird was saying this, and she was like, the weirdest thing is like this rookie joined the team, and she was like, my mom like wants to hang out with you, and then Sue Bird's like, I'm the same age as her mom. What the fuck? And that's like the weirdest thing. You're like watching, like, I'm like getting to that age where like you're watching the draft and you're watching these athletes and you're like, oh my God. Like, Keon Coleman for like Bills. Yeah, I'm the same age as his mom. And I was like, different lives. Like, meanwhile, me and like my cat, I'm like, you do nothing, cat.
You're not even in the G League.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, it's weird how it's like these pro athletes, they're like 22 and they look more like men than I do.
What?
So high tea.
I'm like, he's 45. And it's like,
high
Look, I talked to
19.
one of my friends like about sports, and we were both like into track and field, and like this new generation, I would say from like Sid McLaughlin, who's like 23, and like down to like the high school, like this whole generation is like way like they're setting world records and shit, and they're
That's
like
every sport right now.
but
too.
like especially in track, because like we can see like definitely like the comparisons. I'm like, well, yeah, like you think back to the training we had, and you're like, the coach was like, yeah, run 4 laps and then you can go to Dairy Queen. Like we really didn't have specialized training and like weightlifting.
Now
like,
it's crazy, like just like how young you can be and do like pro events. Like the PGA just had like a 15-year-old. Like
someone just
like,
retired who started when she was like 12.
Yeah, she retired at like 28.
And then like Serena Williams was like playing tennis from like we're the exact same age. She was playing tennis when I was in like 7th grade. She was in the pros. And I was like, oh wow, you've been doing things my entire life.
You needed a King Richard in your life to guide you in the right direction. Yeah, I do. It is interesting.
Did you just short circuit?
No, I know what I want to talk about, but I know it's not worth it, and it's just gonna derail the whole.
Yeah, you did that thing where you're like, I'm gonna back out of this conversation.
Yeah, good for you.
I just saw a guy in
Good for
track
you.
field with a huge dick, and I was like, yeah, they are a different generation. Their dicks are huge now. Okay, anyway,
Jesus
what do we got here?
Brandi, you're very prolific on Twitter. You've been on there a long time. Now that it's X, what do you think the future of Twitter looks like?
I mean, it's all like gonna collapse. I think it's like helpful. Here's the thing.
Society.
Well, here's that too. Here's the thing about Twitter versus like any other social media, and I'm just gonna call it Twitter. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
we don't do that here.
I'm gonna dead name Twitter. There's a thing about don't dead name people, but
Dead name Twitter
Dead
is
name
the
Twitter.
name of this episode.
Okay, here's the thing. Twitter is still the funniest place to go for like on the fly, like breaking news jokes. Like, because you don't have to set up a camera. It's just people like riffing. You can upload video. You can like just make jokes. And so when some funny shit happens and like you need to, like the Drake and Kendrick stuff was like a gold mine on Twitter.
Yeah, that was insane.
So, I mean, I think it'll be around. It's just not going to be a good like news site, but I think that, it'll be there. People need to make jokes. Black Twitter is still there making jokes.
True.
And you said something interesting before we started recording too, that you were on Twitter so much that you had to private your account.
I like locked it because I was just like that dopamine was hitting, and I was also just not wanting to like everyone. Like I have 17,000 followers, and what happened was like I had 9,000 I'd built up over time until like this is like literally the day before the inauguration in 2021. And so I was just like shit posting online. And I made this whole thread about like Donald Trump's tenure as president, but like
we have
not
it
this,
right here.
Yeah,
and
not
how
the
good it's
policy
going to be
stuff.
and how you believed in it. And
But not the policy stuff, but just how like he really did not need. He like fucked up his life by running for president. Like he like had all this stuff.
Sure.
He had his like cons going. He had all this stuff. Like it was just this whole thread about like. Starting with like how like just Seth Meyers made fun of him and he just ruined his life over this. And from that in 24 hours, it just like blew up. And I got like my followers like doubled. Like it was like 20, it was more than doubled. It was like 24,000. I was like, oh boy.
And it's not just that your initial tweet went viral. It's the whole thread got tens of thousands of likes and retweets and replies.
And I was like watching TV. I was just like, this is like, here's a list of, this is just so funny to me. Like I wasn't trying to like make a huge statement or anything.
Did that just like pour out of you, or did you so the whole thread, you were just firing
just
from
like,
the
I was
hip?
just firing from the hip. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's incredible.
I was just like, here's a list of stuff that's just like, this is so funny to me. Like, I'll just randomly just go off on tangents. That's why I like Twitter. I don't want to be like, I'm not, like, my Instagram is all just like cat photos, literally. But like, I just like filming, like, I don't want to like care about my surroundings and stuff like that.
Sure.
And just like, I have these jokes. I want to like bring up a niche thing, and I have enough followers. I'm like, somebody will get this joke. And if not, oh, well, it was amusing to me.
It's so incredible. It's like one of the most viral threads of the year, probably for that year about Trump. And it was just basically you.
Yeah, it was just me, like kind of just roasting him.
That's fucking awesome.
And so I like eventually just people like I was just like, you know what, I don't want to like I was looking for work too, and I was like job searching for a day job, and I'm like, I have enough followers, I can like talk to people, I can still read stuff. I'm like, why? Like I don't need to hear from everyone else.
Sure.
Did that thread get you any like job leads or opportunities or
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was
I'm
just
trying to
me
think.
genuinely clearing my throat.
Oh,
No.
okay.
You think I was like, we don't talk about that anymore.
Oh, that sounded like one of your
I
laughs.
think there have been people who've been like, yeah, I've been hired to like write some stuff, and there have been people who followed me, and I've gotten some writing gigs.
Has it ever
like that.
cost you a job before? Have you ever?
No, because
no,
because I tell them right off, because if you Google me, I'm like, it's gonna show up I do comedy. So I just tell them like, I do comedy. Every joke I say, I stand behind. But like, I had it in my last job contract that they could not mention me on their website by like name, and I would not, I don't mention my jobs. Like I'm not even on LinkedIn. Like I'm on LinkedIn, but like I keep my jobs like one or two behind where I am. But like my contract said, like you cannot mention me by name, because what'll happen is I might make a joke, someone will search it, and then it'll like blow back on your company.
Sure.
And so they know that. And I'm like, you can, check whatever you want, but like there's nothing I say like,
You keep it pretty low key on social media too. You're only really on like Twitter, right? You don't have.
I'm on Instagram and I'm on Blue Sky, just because some of my friends are on Blue Sky, which is just like dork Twitter.
Yeah. What is Blue Sky? When
It's
did
like,
Blue Sky
Blue Sky
come
started
around?
when like Twitter basically like was really collapsing, like maybe like a year or two ago. I don't know. Time is meaningless. And so it's just basically, I don't know. I said this before the show. I'm like, well, you know how Twitter's all dorks, and I was like, well, think of the coolest person you know, and that's what Blue Sky makes Twitter seem like. It's horny nerds. It is. I like on Twitter, if I make jokes and people are like riffing, it's fun. Like, there's some things that are funny, but on Blue Sky, I was like, you are so aggressively unfunny with my joke that was perfectly crafted that you make me sad now, and I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, how do you feel when people try to like tag your shit online? Like, generally it's bad, I'm assuming.
Like on Twitter, because it's like people who I like are like funny, and it's like, there are way more funny people on Twitter. But on Blue Sky, I'm like, you literally just explained the joke I made to me.
Sure.
Or else, like, sometimes, like, people will, like, explain it and they'll be like, oh, I get you're trying to say this. And I'm, like, sad because I was, like, hoping that there was a hidden, like, second meaning that I missed. And I'm like, nope, that is just literally the only meaning like I thought. I'm like, it's just...
Now, on Blue Sky, is there rampant porn? Yes or no? Okay, then I'm on board.
I'm in.
It like Twitter is like we'll have people being like, this is my OnlyFans, like I'm cross posting here.
Twitter's got a lot of
like
porn.
but like, Blue
allowed,
Sky is just
actually.
people feeling themselves, getting a little too confident.
Twitter's got full length scenes.
Right, but like it's like the thing about Blue Sky that's weird because there'll be like people I followed from Twitter to Blue Sky, and I'm like not like shaming you or anything, but if I just like follow you because you were funny or I liked your writing, and all of a sudden you're like feeling yourself and there's just like nudes of you. I'm like, whoa, we know too much about each other now. Like, no, I did not. This is weird, man.
You got to make the separate account.
Like,
you got to make the separate.
Also, if you have a not
account.
safe for work, I was complaining to my friend about this. I'm like, if you have a non safe for work account, don't retweet it on your regular account because now I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that
now,
defeats the purpose.
There was someone I was following for like completely like normal stuff, and I was like, "Oh, you got an OnlyFans now? Why? Okay." But like, it was just weird because I'm like, I didn't know. Okay,
Yeah,
why am I seeing
tree.
this though?
Yeah, you have no idea what they're into, and they're just sitting on a fuck machine. Like, wait, what the hell? I thought you were an accountant.
I discovered that was like a weed Twitter I follow. He just like reposts like weed stuff, and then like he has his not safe for work account. And I'm like,
That's like a person I was talking
"This guy
about.
has
We
a
might be
micro penis.
we might be talking about the same person. Honestly,
no.
Yeah.
we might
It's
be
not
talking
a
about the same
micro
person.
I was
penis.
like, this guy's OnlyFans is just this flaccid penis.
But he makes a bunch of money. If you got a micro penis, let me know if you can make a lot of money off of that. I think you can.
Well, apparently the thing, like I have a friend. Yeah, this is just about OnlyFans in general. I have a friend who's a tech journalist, and I was like, he's like, the thing about OnlyFans is that it was like kind of a Ponzi scheme for a while because they would have like referral, like if someone like set up an account, and so the first people would make a lot of money. Like there'd be some people who'd make money off their content, but a lot of people would just make referral money, and then like all these people would think they'd make that much money, and so it's just like at this point, like if you're getting a new OnlyFans account, like good luck to you. Like it's not even about like
I
what
think
you
it's hard to
look like.
break through. I genuinely believe that this is like a real thing. Like it's hard. You're right. It's hard to break in. Like I have a friend who started a Fansly, and like
what's a Fansly?
It's OnlyFans Blue Sky.
Yeah. That's incredible. And they just had a heart. They're just like, it sucks because nobody, like, if no one knows who you are, no one, you're spending all this time and this thing that you want to feel like powerful and confident and sexual, whatever. It's just another thing to make you feel bad. It's just another platform where you feel bad because people aren't giving you the validation that you want.
Sure.
That's all. Don't friend me, motherfucker.
What? Wait, what did I do?
You're like, friend. Like you, as if it was me.
Oh, that was minutes ago, though.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes ago.
You would like bears would love you. Like bears.
There
like
you go.
No, not me. I have no luck with the gays. They're not. I thought I would have a demographic, but
maybe it's just a repackaging thing.
How hard have you really been trying, though? I mean,
we just need to put you in a big diaper, I think.
Like, honestly, the podcast is called Troll Hole. You could pivot pretty easily.
Yeah.
I can pivot to all fours.
I mean, it's the spit pit, you know. We got, there's avenues for you.
Speaking of, we want to dive back in.
Happy Pride, everyone!
Happy Pride, yeah. Brandi, so you've had some online beefs, specifically with is it multiple celebrities or?
It's like, okay.
Can you talk about the TC?
Okay.
Incident.
Well, first of all, I have been blocked by Roseanne Barr, and that's my fault. That's my fault because
That's awesome.
Roseanne. I work from home, and like during the day on Logo back in the day, Roseanne would come on. I'm like, this is a great show. I'd watch it every day. And then she started saying some wild shit. And one day I tweeted, I go, you need to shut up online. You're ruining my daytime TV. And then she blocked me. And I was like,
wow, what a fucking
damn.
snowflake ass.
Yeah.
But okay,
block.
so I don't tag celebrities or anything, and like it's weird if you name search, like you look up your own name. Like I have Google alerts for my name and certain like things just for like news articles for my own stuff, but like going on Twitter and searching for yourself it's a recipe for disaster. So at one point Liam Neeson had been giving this interview where he was talking about how like one of his friends this woman had been like by like a black guy that like got away, and he admitted, he was like, yeah, I consider just murdering random black guys. Like it was like a wild thing to say. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And then they were interviewing like his co-stars and stuff like that. Like I think like Viola Davis was interviewed or something. And I didn't know Terry Crews was like in a movie with him. So I just tweeted to like no one, like my followers was like, why did Terry Crews even weigh in on this Liam Neeson thing? And then Terry Crews quote tweeted me and goes, cause I fucking wanted to. And I was like, okay. And he's like, and I was like, dude, you didn't need to tweet me to like 1 million followers. So then all of his fans started like jumping in. And I was like, Terry, could you, like, I really didn't know what was going on. And then he was just like quote tweeting me every time. I'm like, could you just not, like, your fans are like really coming for me. And I was like at Acme that weekend, actually. Damn. And so at that point I was like, well, let's just show like everyone how big of an asshole you are. So anytime any of his fans would like say shit to me, I would just retweet it just to show people. And some of his fans were like, oh wow, this is really going overboard. And then a bunch of like black journalists, like sports writers even, like were like, Terry, this is so unnecessary. Like she didn't know, and like you were name searching. And it was wild, and it eventually died down after a couple of days. But then I found out one of my friends was like, you know, he's following you now. And I'm like, what? And I'm like,
he's behind you right now.
He followed me on Twitter. And at that point, I did have like a blue check mark. Not like the paid for kind. I had the original one, like verified, like this is a real person. I was like, he could have just DM'd me and we could have just like figured this out. And then my friend looked at all of like his recent followers, and they turned out to be all like verified black women with followers about it. So he basically was like getting into it with black women, even though like when he was talking about being like assaulted, like black women were like standing up for him, speaking out in Hollywood. And so I was just like all my friends like now hate him. You know, all the homies.
It's a crazy move on his part to be like defending Liam Neeson, being like, I thought about killing a random black guy or whatever, and then being like, hey, black women, it's not your space to talk about this. Actually, this is between me and Liam Neeson.
Well, it's also like people are like, one of his fans was like, you don't want this smoke, and I was like, I don't even think his own wife is that big of a fan of him. What smoke? What are you talking about?
To me, I always think of like where they are when they're doing this, and it's like he's on the set of Brooklyn Nine-Nine watching Andy Samberg.
But that's where I was at. Yeah, so I was at Acme, and I forgot what comics were there.
Time.
Yeah, and I was like, oh no, I hope he's not like telling other comics on the set of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and they're all gonna be like, man. I was like more concerned about like my career, and I'm like, but I haven't watched that show because of him.
There's nobody who
tell
talks
anyone because it's fucking insane.
It's insane. It's insane.
It only makes him look bad.
He was also in the throes of a crippling porn addiction during the time, I'm sure, so he didn't really know. That's why he was following all the black women. He just thought that maybe they had OnlyFans.
No, but like my friend looked, and it's like, no, he just gets into it. Like he randomly searches and just goes after. Like it was so weird. I'm just like, bro, what? Why?
Yeah, Terry Crews doesn't seem like. I don't want to be too incendiary here.
Get him.
He's gonna name search and come after your pod.
Doesn't seem like a good hang. You know, doesn't seem like a fun guy.
Yeah,
he's too regimented for me.
Yeah,
he's gonna be like doing fucking burpees or some shit. He's not really paying attention.
I need a guy who can jerk off and not be weird about it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be in front of me. But I think you're weird about sex, and I don't like that.
You're not a good hang.
You gotta
need
open
to be
up.
open
well, I mean,
about
to
jerking.
be fair, like the whole thing was that he had been like, I think like assaulted or something like that. But like that was like when people
don't defend him, Brandi. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm defending like why people were supporting him. He was like speaking out and being like, you know, it's hard and it is hard being black in entertainment. Which I know, but then it's like suddenly like, why are you why are you just suddenly getting like super defensive about this? You name search. I wasn't saying anything negative. And then people like went through and they're like, you just hate Terry Crews. And somebody searched.
Yes, I do. Actually.
Somebody searched my things and it was just like all me being like, Terry Crews is awesome. This is like great. And it was like all nice stuff. And everyone's like, I don't even know what to do with this. Like he's just being an asshole.
Terry Crews, to you I say, you are no Jamie Foxx, sir. Okay? Jamie Foxx I'll protect at all costs. Terry Crews, I'm off on
Terry Crews, come on the program. Clear your name.
Want to do a little more? We do a little more? Yeah, let's go down a little bit.
Do we do the comics beef?
We're about we're about 40 minutes, so maybe we just start wrapping. Papa's got to leave pretty quick here.
We'll get into this. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah,
you gotta get out.
Yeah, I'm tired of this shit.
Jesus Christ, Ben. Jesus Christ. Okay. So here's a family circus 9/11 tweet you had, Brandi.
What an incredible sentence that
and it said, you quote tweeted and you said, I think about the 9/10/02 and 9/11/02 family circus combination periodically. Do you want me to read the cartoon?
Yeah, I think people need to know.
We'll put it up too.
Mr. Townsend is a pilot and he taught me how to fly a plane.
And then Billy Circus is, I just say their last name is Circus, but I'm like, Billy Circus is, that's not really their last name, is throwing a paper airplane. So he's just throwing it. That's comic 1 on 9/10/2002. Comic 2.
and then comic 2 is the towers collapsing.
And it's Dolly Circus praying, and it's just like what is this, like something mourn?
That's insane.
And so I tweet this, and then the replies are people being like, wow. And then a bunch of people correct me and being like, but 9/11 happened in 2001. And I was like, right. Which is why this is a wild choice, because he had a year.
Yeah,
and it shows this combination.
Yeah, and so here's one of them from Maggie McNeil. How could that have been the 9/11 panel when newspapers are printed shortly after midnight and distributed before dawn? And comic strips are there weeks in advance?
It's just like, people going too hard, just not understanding the funny.
I've never heard of time shaming.
And then I've just been like, because it's so many replies of me being like, it's 2002, and someone goes, but and there's just like so many people. I'm like, I need you to read what I wrote. And then someone else, the funniest one was some guy goes, maybe the guy who's like, did you forget what 9/11 was?
Yeah. Here's from Reb King. If you're getting old like I am and can't remember if it was 2000, 2001, or whatever, you can use the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey as a mnemonic device, or 2001: A Space Oddity for Mad Mag fans. But if you're too young to remember the movie or the mag, WTF?
Yeah, like what? Like I remember when 9/11 happened.
Only 90s kids will remember 9/11.
I like when people think that they're smarter than everyone else, and then they just appear to be dumber than everyone else. Like that's my love it. Yeah.
Do we want to cover this, or should we just get into the?
We could do one more and then
we could get into the comics beef. Like
the comics beef.
Do you want to? Yeah,
that's my favorite thing that anyone has said to me in a threat in my life.
So I don't. Yeah. So you sent us something where you got into a.
So there was a comic. He is this black guy. This was like this is before your time.
Terry Crews.
Yeah, it was this black local guy. He's not doing anything.
This was right when I started.
Yeah, it was right when I started too. And so he was mad at me because I was just thanking someone for letting me be on their show, and he had deep beef with this white dude. And because I didn't get into this beef, I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, he's racist. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't he was nice to me. I'm just thanking him for this show. So this guy got it in his head that he just hated me. And so he would always make threats. And this guy had gotten into a fist fight before over Facebook posts. Mm-hmm. And this was 15 years ago, 2 40-year-old men got into a fist fight over Facebook, which is just, this is what you're dealing with.
Back when comedy was fucking comedy.
Yeah, it was just unhinged behavior. And so he'd send me these threats over Facebook Messenger, and I'd be like, could you please just leave me alone? And eventually I was screenshotting them because he would show up places to go after other people, and I was
Jesus.
if I need to report this, I know that I can't block him because I have to build up evidence, a thing you just know as a woman, how to report stalking.
Sure.
And,
sure.
And so I'm just please leave me alone, please leave me alone, please leave me alone. And so this one comic just posted something. It's this is a thread, you can talk about anything. And I just go, I like pie, which I do. It's delicious. And then this comic goes, bitch, I'll hit you in the face with a pie, which is Which at the time I was like, oh my God, he is crazy. He might actually show up with a pie, but also in hindsight, just the funniest threat.
That is
Just
very funny.
Like, how mad are you at someone?
He doesn't
Like,
have
bitch, I'll
pie
hit you-
money.
Like, bitch, I'll hit you in the face with
He's
a
gonna
pie.
Krusty the Clown.
It's just a working clown.
This is a number of tantrums that like male comics have thrown in my like DMs on like Facebook over time. Like they've settled down lately, but like
Sure.
they're like,
Well, they're all afraid now.
well, like
They're like, screenshotting's a thing?
Yeah.
well, no, it's just like one time a comic like messaged me and he's just like I don't even know why he was mad. And he just goes, you know what? You're a diversity hire. You're only hired at Acme because you're cute and you're black. And I was like, oh, you think I'm cute?
That's
Thanks.
crazy. Okay.
then,
Yes.
like,
that is wild.
No, but then like I told a bunch of comics about it, and one comic's like, "Well, do you want me to like tell other people?" And I go, "But the thing is, he's so bad at comedy, no one books him based on his lack of talent. So there's nothing we'd be stopping."
Yeah, and he's leaving that out too. It's like,
Yeah.
you're a great writer. You write great stuff.
And
like,
this was like not even like when I first, and I know that like I've like it's been told to me by various people. They're like, you like anytime you get hired at Acme, you have a target on your back, especially if you're like, I came out of like nowhere. Literally, I like hadn't been doing open mics as much, and I get hired at Acme. There were people funnier than me who didn't get hired. This is the way of things.
yeah, that's how
And
it fucking goes.
Comics are haters. We know that in general. I'm a
yeah.
hater. We're all
I don't know
haters.
what you're talking about.
But like,
I have no idea.
there has been a target on my back where people just say wild shit to me to the point that I'll like step away from comedy periodically. And like one time, a comic wrote me this long message because I was like defending a friend on Twitter, and I didn't even read the Facebook message. I'm like, this is about to be some bullshit. I didn't read it for a year. Then he sends me another message apologizing a year later, causing me to read the first
Classic
message.
mistake.
And in this message, he was like, you know what? No one likes you in comedy. We were all talking about how you don't hang out with us. And I'm like, that's the worst thing you could say about me. Like, I am doing other things. And when I get there, I want to see my friends. Like, I'm not like, I'm just kind of like an awkward person with strangers. But I'm like, that's the worst thing you can say about me. And he's like, you know, I'm like, you're toxic. And that's why I don't want to hang out with a lot of you guys. Like,
I don't know if this will make you want to hang out with me more, but no one likes
Yeah.
you. So.
yeah.
it's just wild, this shit, like the tantrums, like men will throw. And I'm just like, I can't like, you know, there's this whole culture in comedy where it's like, oh, you can't complain. You have to be, it's a safe space. Like, first of all, comedy, anyone who calls comedy a safe space is a psychopath. And I realize this.
You're out of your fucking
Yeah, I
mind.
realize this. Like, here's the thing.
It's the most
Yeah,
unsafe
it's unsafe.
space.
People are talking
Mentally,
about
it's an oil rig in the
Yeah.
middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's very unsafe.
Like people were talking about like on stage, they're like, stage is my safe space. I'm like, that's crazy if you think. I'm like, the whole point is like, it's not like adversarial with the audience, but like if you don't laugh, they don't like that. And in the back of that are like comics judging your ability to amuse these people. I'm like, that's like the opposite of feeling safe. Like if you feel that
Yeah.
safe, like you need like this is why like so many broken people are in comedy. I'm like, I feel so safe.
That's
I'm
like calling like a cobalt mine shaft a good working environment. Like,
It's
it's
cozy.
a little dusty, you know?
it's cozy.
It's gonna shave a couple years off your life, but we have fun in this mine.
We don't have the bright lights in the coal mine.
I have to say,
Oh,
so
shit.
it is wild to me to reach out to you and be like, you suck, you're not talented, you are pretty. Like, I don't like the way, if you're gonna, first of all, don't DM shitty things to people.
Especially if they're your coworkers.
But
Like,
it-
what?
Yes.
Like,
So
talk
maybe
shit
maybe
behind
you
their
tone
back.
it down a little bit.
Talk
But
shit behind my back.
if you are
The
gonna,
one getting DM bullshit.
if you're gonna attack someone, don't try to fucking backdoor getting laid in there either. Like being like,
Ugh.
you're so cute, but nobody that's so
But
fucking
it's
annoying.
so funny
to me.
because I was like, damn, I'm really hot because he was mad as shit. But he was like,
Yeah.
I gotta be
I gotta
honest.
give it up to you.
Like there was
Yeah.
someone who did that on Twitter. Like on Twitter one time, they were just like, "You are ugly and can't get laid." And I go, "I think we both know I'm not ugly." And he goes, he looks at my, he like finds a picture. He goes, "Okay, you're right, but," and
That's
he just like,
wild.
it's so funny.
That's just not how I argue with people. I double down. I'll be like, no, you're dog shit. No,
I
you
know
belong.
what like will
I'm
emotionally
fine.
hurt people. Like the greatest insult I ever heard was Serena Williams got mad at this ump in like a tennis match, and she goes, "You are ugly on the inside,"
remember that
and I'm
too.
like, "You can't come back from like what can you say to
Yeah.
that?" Like those are the good insults, but
That's
like.
great.
Yeah, just a number of like, I don't know. I've always had a target on my back. I think I'm not like being like a victim, but like
You
people
are
get
a
mad.
black woman in public
Right.
Yeah.
in the public sphere.
In comedy,
like,
no, even among like comics and like people don't like the number of times I've had to like call like, you know, like Shannon and Tracy, Ashley, Shannon, Paul and Tracy, Ashley here, but like I've had to like call New York comics and like talk me off a ledge. Like Chris Lambert, the stuff, like Calvin
Sure.
Cato.
Sure.
Like at one point, like they were like, this is like a decade ago, like Phoebe Robinson. They're just like, no, this is common. Like this is like people just don't know.
Yeah, you've gotten undeserved flack, and it's bullshit. I've always liked you, Brandi.
Shut the fuck up.
I've always
You
liked
fucking pig piece of shit.
He's always been nice to
He
me.
has,
I've
but I
always
hate that
liked
he's
you.
saying it right now. He's
I've
like,
always
me? No,
liked
I'm
you.
one of the good ones.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
me.
I am.
He's
I'm
one of
pretty-
the good ones.
Yeah, you fucking Civil War facial haired motherfucker. Let's do this last one and get the fuck out of here, you pandering piece of
Let's
shit.
do a few more. Let's do a few more. All right. So here's another one of your tweets, Brandi, and we actually wrote. So this is the tweet. It's kind of a portly cat posing with its elbow up, and you said, "This cat looks like it's being interviewed by the New York Times about Trump's broken promise to bring bodega cat jobs to its town."
Great tweet.
The
bro.
New York Times
Incredible
opinion
tweet.
section retweeted that. Like it was
Oh,
wild.
really?
I was like, do you guys even retweet it? Because then I found out who was running that account, and I was like, oh, it's a cool person.
Yeah. And so this is we do a segment on here. It's our closing segment where we write a response on your behalf, and then we will reply to this person.
Mhm.
But this is their response to you. They say, irony that it's fat, overweight, and sitting around in the middle of the working day, wondering why it doesn't have a job. And then he literally links his blog.
And his handle is his full name.
Yeah, Dean Collins.
Dean Collins. Which is this crazy approach to give so much information about
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. I
Uh,
looked at his blog too.
What was
Yikes.
Was it just his blog, or was it a specific post that he linked to?
It's just his blog. Like, hey, if you love this super original take, go follow my blog, which is like unfollowable. It's not even on like a WordPress or anything.
Like,
It's a
I like-
terrible
I also
presence.
like that, like, people, when they will post their, like, mixtapes and, like, under comic stuff, and I was like, you realize we like to make fun of things. This could go sideways for you. Like, one time a guy actually handed me, like, his physical DVD, like, in the parking lot at Acme, and I'm like, I'm actually impressed by your boldness.
I wish I had that. I
Yeah.
honestly think I'd be better. My career would be better if I had a little bit more of that, being like, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah, it's
love-
like-
I love me some me, and then give you a DVD.
Like,
yeah,
of
the
bombing at an
hustle.
open mic.
Yeah, the
Like, I was
blind
watching, I
hustle.
remember I watched Hacks, and then I sent Tracy Ashley a message, and I just go, I ain't got that dog in me. Like, I just realized watching Hacks, I'm like, I ain't got that dog in me.
It's a fucking. I don't.
Yeah.
Care. No
Do you want to
dogs.
go first or should
Yeah,
I?
I'll go first. So this is a segment where we both wrote a response to
Okay.
that guy's reply,
Okay.
and you'll choose which one you want us to post.
Okay.
We're gonna post it from our account and defend your honor. All right,
Okay.
that's the bit.
Is it like your official like troll hole account?
Yes.
Well, then you need to
Yeah.
like follow me because I'm like locked so I can like see it.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty judicious with our follows, so we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I understand.
I'm kind of like the foil on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I wrote. So his name is Dean Collins, okay?
Yep.
So I go, Dean, your viewpoint on this cat makes it seem like you're the kind of guy who gets HR complaints filed against him for using slurs people forgot existed. Honestly, just impressed you didn't call this cat a jungle bunny. That's what I wrote.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I wrote.
I wrote to Dean, I said, spoken like someone that spends their retirement blogging about how kids need to get off their lawn, when the truth is you live in the spare room of your son's condo.
Doesn't it just strike you as the guy who'd be like, I'd never let my daughter date a cat or something? He has that energy. That's the kind of guy.
Yeah.
Neil just did $10,000 worth of damage. over there.
Yeah.
Before I pick a couple questions. What was like the gist of his blog? Like,
I'll pull it up right now.
Probably highly racial. Has to be.
It's really bad.
It should be like, cats should get a job.
I can't even open it.
mind you, also, what day? What's the date on that post?
This is also 20. This is from 2017.
Well,
So-
he's been blogging since, it shows down here, 2005. His latest blog post is True Love. It's really bad. Okay, here's one. Now $34 trillion from January 3rd, 2024. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. $34 trillion in debt, and not a single politician I know is talking about balancing the budget, let alone reducing the debt. The only upside is I know mortgage rates are coming down because although we're hurting, the government is hemorrhaging.
Oh, that didn't happen.
It's just unremarkable shit.
Balancing the debt, really, man.
It's
That's
just
hack.
unremarkable. It's like it's not even. It's beyond hack. Like he's.
But the other thing about what he was saying, I was just like, I thought he was gonna like make it, because the other weird thing people do online is they'll like make a Trump joke no matter like what. It's like unrelated. They'll be like, oh, just like Trump, and you're like, that's not even a political joke I was making. Why did you bring that up? And so I thought the cat thing, he was gonna be like, funny, it's fat, overweight. And I was like, are you like Trump? Is that how you're gonna finish it out?
Oh, I took it the other way. I thought he was being like that cat's like the minorities I don't like. That's why.
You really?
Yeah.
So, that was the viewpoint I came into. I guess I didn't even think it could be the other thing. Which says more about me than
here's another one. He was like, the header is, you are what you do. Then he's like, I really like this line. And the quote is, when you know who you are and you can own your story, you don't get distracted by these expectations of others or expectations of outcome. That's straight out of couples counseling.
I hate
Yeah, yeah. His wife showed up with some papers for him, definitely. I would say in your reply, I'm gonna go with Mike's just because yours, I just feel like if he had been Rachel, I would have like definitely gone with that. But Mike, in your reply, I need you to find one of his posts and link to that, just to be like, we've been doing our research and this is insane.
Absolutely. I'm his 3 blog hits for the month, I'm pretty sure.
Also, like, you gotta find one from around the time when he wrote that post too.
Oh yeah, 2017. I'll get him. Oh, I'll go get him.
All right, Brandi, where can people find you? Do you have anything you want to plug? Feel free.
I'm apparently I don't know if they're going to release tickets to like the general public, but at Bryant Lake Bowl in July, there is going to be like a burlesque show and I'm doing comedy there. Nice. I'm not taking off my clothes because I'm awkward and get cold. But like, it's going to be a good time. And it's the Brandi, ITS, the Brandi with an I on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. I have a TikTok hold, but I'm not on TikTok. It's just too much.
Just for watching.
Yeah. I don't even watch. I'm just like, I don't have time.
I'm at Just Mike Lester on all social media. Late August, Ben and I will be reuniting for the second leg of the Crumb Kingdom tour in Texas. We'll be doing some dates down there. We're looking very much forward to that.
Creek in the Cave, Dallas Comedy Club. We're gonna third location unannounced yet, but we're getting some other
question mark. But yes, Ben.
Popping. July 26th and 26th and 27th. I am headlining Comedy Corner Underground in Minneapolis. Please come out to that. Coincidentally, Mike is also fucking headlining in town across the street at Sisyphus Brewing. Literally same date, same time.
The war is on, folks.
So we are splitting our audience and saying, come support one of us. It should be me. It's my birthday. Please
message me beforehand that I need to do new material and then bully me about closing on it.
You're going to want to try to make Mike have a breakdown so he walks off stage and then just rush over to go see Ben.
Yeah. Hurt Mike. Help me.
There's no way that's going to happen. I refuse to fucking crumble.
His breakdown will be in the car before the show.
See, you gotta schedule your breakdown.
So, I'm there. And then, like you said, we have the Texas dates, and just follow the podcast, like, subscribe, please.
I do have another plug. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have 2 pieces I've written like over the past few years for defector.com about the state fair. So you can just search Brandi Brown Defector. One of them is about the llama and alpaca costume contest, and one of them is about how Amy Klobuchar won't admit the state fair is the best state fair.
There you go.
So I enjoy writing for them, and
I have 3 pieces on Defector, and they're all about the dogs that are there at the state fair. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I write for Dean Collins' blog. I'm one of Dean Collins' journalists.
What if you found out that was Ben's like secret blog?
That would be.
I would not
It'd
be
like
surprised.
the ultimate betrayal.
That's why I was like, no, you should say Jungle Bunny.
This is what I actually meant.
Stop saying
That's the name of the podcast.
That's just an old timey like slur.
That
like,
was
Jesus Christ.
That's wild.
That's Neil, producer Neil, you got anything you want to say?
7 Swords on all music, all 7 Swords on all stuffs, and if I'm also doing my own comedy show at the Weston Mall on Wednesdays at 8:30.
Great show. Folks, until next time, go to hell.
Yeah, we do go to hell.
Go to hell. You want to flip them up, Brandi?
Toss them one.
There you go. Nice.
You gotta pay the troll toll to get in.